off the shot.
In the chest.
Again. The shot. Point to the shot.
That was great. Again. Come.
Unbelievable. Thank you very much, Ed. I appreciate it. Thank you. Beautiful old bull, man.
Well, welcome to Safari Classics TV. This week I've got a show that I know I'm going to enjoy, and I hope you're going to enjoy as much, because we're going to cover one of my very favorite subjects in Africa, and of course that's the hunt for buffalo. Not just Cape buffalo, all the different species. You know, buffalo are an animal I think of where opportunity and affordability kind of collide. Buffalo are well distributed from East Africa all the way down to the eastern Cape of South Africa. And there's a lot of varieties. There's the Cape buffalo, there's the Nile buffalo, the savanna buffaloes, there's the dwarf forest buffalo, and we're going to hunt several of those species today. You know, when we started filming in Africa, it's about 30 years ago that we've been filming full time. And one of the animals we've probably spent the most time on is buffalo hunting. And most of you know who Craig Boddington is, probably the most prolific rider, well, especially safari rider of our time. And we approached Craig and said, Craig, we want to do a buffalo movie that's a A to Z, everything you would ever want to know about buffalo hunting. And we came up with the idea to call it Boddington on Buffalo. So once we talked Craig into that idea, you know, we set off to one of our camps in the Zambezi Valley. Early one morning, we hit the tracks of a big herd and started following them up into the hills of the Sapi area of the Zambezi Valley. And we finally got a pretty good line on where they were headed, which is a big spring. And it's a beautiful place tucked away under a bunch of big red mahogany trees. And we actually caught a massive herd of buffalo at this spring. Now we snuck in there nice and quiet, and the buffalo had got their morning drink and they're just starting to drift off from right to left. Now this gave us a great opportunity to really look at a lot of buffalo. There were bulls, there were cows, there were calves. They were making a ton of noise in there. They were grunting and pushing and groaning. And we got in there, the wind was perfect, and we're just now trying to pick out a herd bull. Now, part of this movie was going to be shooting one bull out of a herd and then finding a Dugga boy that was by himself. And this was our first buffalo of the film, but as you can see, we are just sitting there in a perfect spot. The wind's good. Buffalo are feeding, left to right. We started trying to pick out the right bull, and there was several bulls we passed. They weren't quite mature. One was really, really wide. I'm doing most of the video here, and I'm trying to spot a bull. Makasa, our tracker, of course, that's Andrew Dawson of Chafuti Safaris, was the professional hunter on this. And Craig and Andrew sit there and, debated the qualities of this bull versus that bull. And I thought, well, we're going to let this whole bunch get by. But as sometimes happens in buffalo hunting, especially when you're hunting herds, a bull can pop out of nowhere. And we were watching this herd intently feeding out, and I thought, well, nothing here of real interest. And then just out of the blue, Mikasa, one of our trackers, probably the best tracker I've ever hunted with, looks to the right as Craig's got his gun up and he's looking at a bull across the spring. Mikasa looks back to the right, and here is a big old herd bull coming right at us at about 30 yards. You know, here it is at about 30 yards. Craig cracks him with a Dakota 375 just right through the boiler room. And then he does exactly what a buffalo hunter is supposed to do. He keeps shooting. This buffalo gave us a good presentation as he rambled across this opening, and Craig got 3 more bullets into him. He was just backing up his own shots, and that's what you do on buffalo every time. Today we're going to go buffalo hunting across Africa, and we're going to start our buffalo safari today in the country of Mozambique. And Mozambique is a country that has really come back hard, especially known for its buffaloes and its big herds of buffalo. It's a unique hunt in most areas. There are areas where you hunt the buffalo by tracking the Miombo woodlands, but 90% of the buffalo that are shot in today's Mozambique are in the Delta or coastal Mozambique, where you have the big swamps. And there you're tracking with your eyes more than you're tracking with your feet. You're looking for birds. You're looking for these big white cattle egrets, and they'll tell you where the buffalo, you may look out there half a mile and there's a bunch of them tornadoing down. That means there's buffalo there. Now, our hunter today is Logan Killam, and he's hunting with our good buddy Mark Haldane's outfit, Zambezi Delta Safaris. And PH Ryan Pletz is his professional hunter.
I think it's initial one we picked out just all the best out of all of us. He's laying down now, just keep watching him. I think they're really not very heavy. Keep calls. Freaking big bosses.
You know, they're in a pretty good spot right here because they've got that 6-foot tall grass, and you can, you know, move through that cover and try to get in front of the buffalo. But eventually, a lot of times on these Delta hunts, even if you found your bull, you run out of cover. In this open country, the buffalo have a pretty standard habit. Once they have spotted you, the buffalo tend to swing back around and look at you again.
Yeah. Where is he? That's him. Oh, okay, a little bit high, reload quickly. Try and put one in from behind. Okay, wait, there, on the shoulder. He's limping. Yeah, he's right here. Yeah, he's got him. He's pumping out blood.
Oh, we got really lucky. The bull that we had thought had snuck off, he was just hiding in amongst the others, and as we moved up, just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, they get very silly at this last
and
light.
He walked off the last left flank of the herd and exposed himself, and I think we've made some good shots on him.
That's him. Oh. Yeah, that's a beautiful bull. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's such a thrill in any buffalo. I think this was Logan's first buffalo, and you know what a great spot to do it. Completely hard boss bull, just a beautiful, beautiful trophy, and very well done. And Mozambique is a really unique opportunity. It's not a classic, you know, tracking hunt, but it's one of the most exciting hunts in Africa, even though it's not the most traditional buffalo hunt you'll go on. Now, our second hunt is going to be with Charlton McCallum Safaris. You know, David Moon is the PH, and David is a really up-and-coming professional hunter. And, you know, he apprenticed under Buzz Charlton himself, and this is a late-season hunt, obviously, in the valley, because I can tell that there's no leaves on the tree. And late season means the visibility is a little bit better for you, unfortunately, also better for the buffalo. But they've been on a track, they got on a track early, and they have been after this one bull, and they are about to see him. luckily this buffalo did what a lot of them do when they're not sure. They stop and they just stop again. They're looking, they're listening, they're smelling. And he took advantage of that short pause to get in a shot.
I shot through a bunch of brush, but
Pretty excited buffalo hunter right there. Yeah, when you stay on the tracks and you follow them into that thick stuff, I tell you, that to me is, it's just a classic buffalo encounter, especially in that late season when they live in that super thick stuff, because they don't have the advantage of all the leaves and stuff. They stay in that tough cover. But obviously he made a beautiful shot. That bull didn't go far.
fantastic job.
Well done, trackers. Well done, PH. Well done for our hunter. Nice old hard boss Zambezi Valley bull.
Well done, Tim.
Wonderful. Thank
Very
you,
good
David.
shooting.
That was fantastic.
Now we're going to move to Tanzania, truly one of the best destinations for buffalo anywhere in Africa. And this hunt is not really a traditional hunt as it starts out. The trackers climbed up onto a big vantage point up on a hill and actually spotted a couple of buffalo down in the valley, and they got the vehicle and moved down to the valley to get within, a reasonable range, and Harpreet spots them. Now, this is with our buddy Harpreet Brar, the professional hunter, and Doug Harper is our hunter. Now, Harpreet is the head guy at Rungwa Game Safari. He's one of the top outfits in Tanzania, and great buffalo hunting there. But they spotted this old guy, and he's out there in some pretty short grass, and this is just kind of a get out of the truck, make a fairly quick stalk, get on the sticks, and wait for Harpreet to give you the nod.
Not too high. Good. We're gonna make it be a son. That's him. Yeah, that's him. This side. Do you see him? Okay, good. Load again. Reload. Okay, let him hit. Go this way and see. Come on. He's really nice. Come look at him.
That's a nice buffalo.
Huh? Yeah.
Nice waiter.
Yep.
So they played that very wisely, and
Beautiful bull.
the results of all that good maneuvering on this hunt is a very nice Tanzania buffalo. Completely hard bossed, big body, and Doug shot him very, very well. Well, for our next buffalo, we're going to go to a new country, Uganda, and we're going to hunt a new species of buffalo. Now, these are all classified as Nile buffalo. Every buffalo in the country of Uganda now, if you shoot one, it's going to be classified in the record books as Nile subspecies. Now, can I tell the difference readily? No. I mean, they may just be a couple of 100 pounds smaller than, say, a big Zambezi Valley bull, but they look a lot like the southern buffalo to me, but they're classified as Nile, and they are big there, and there is a lot of them. So a lot of your hunting is done, using the vehicle to cover country. You see a interesting bull, you pop out and make a quick spot and stalk, and that's exactly right here at daylight. In fact, the sun has just not even popped over the horizon. They've seen a couple of bulls, and Skip's going to get out and get on the sticks and get ready just in case there's a shooter in there. An old bull looks like a whitetail in a rut that's following, and he could very well be doing exactly that, because that buffalo's walking with purpose with his head down. Boom, Skip gives him one, and he crosses the very dirt track that they drove in on. This buffalo went ahead and crossed the track and got up into the bush, and they're just going to follow him up in there. Okay, now Skip knocks his buffalo down. They've walked in there, and then off in the distance, one of the trackers says, hey, there's there's some other buffalo, and it went off. They just got in the truck and went just a little bit further down the track. The sun's coming up a little bit better, and Tim Harold is up next, and they see 3 old bulls standing together, and one of them in particular caught Tim's attention because he had a really nice, beautiful drop. Skip's buffalo's about 300 yards back down the road, and here it is 15 minutes later. Tim Harold's about to get in, try to get into position and take a shot.
Got 3 bulls out here. 2 of them are young, one of them's good old.
And that is a beautiful Uganda bull, completely hard boss bull, got a beautiful drop. And since the other bull was so close, they just went down there, loaded him up, brought him in, and got a very rare picture of 2 buffaloes shot by 2 different hunters, side by side. And that's a pretty good morning of buffalo. By 7:30, you got 2 really good bulls down. That doesn't happen very many times, I'll promise you.
Not cheap that is.
So from Uganda, we're going to head back down south, and we're going to one of my very favorite buffalo destinations. That's the Zambezi Valley, and this is going to be a hunt with Jeff Devine, and he's hunting a Dugaboy. They've been on the tracks early in the morning, following those tracks, hoping to catch up with the bull, and he is with professional hunter Keith Wall. Now, I have known Keith since he was an apprentice hunter for Chafutis. He has absolutely turned into one of the most solid PHs out there today. So proud of Keith, and Keith's a fun guy to hunt with, but he's a serious hunter, hard hunter, and he loves hunting Dugaboys. Remember, sometimes the shooter's angle is different than the cameraman's angle, so there's a reason they haven't taken a shot. But
on the shoulder, point to the shoulder. Reload.
He stops him right there, and off this thing goes.
You're almost here.
That'll do.
That's called paying the insurance. That's well done.
Hunt in a great area with great people. Couldn't ask for more. Jeff, congratulations. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, if you're the kind of hunter that says, man, I just love a challenge, well, brother, let me tell you what the ultimate buffalo hunting challenge is. It's for the dwarf forest buffalo. They live in Cameroon and the Central Africa Republic. And my buddy Todd Correll, that you see right here, has entered that green hell. This is his 4th hunt, I believe, for dwarf forest buffalo. If you can't go on a safari without being assured you're going to come back with your trophy, don't ever book this hunt. Because I know multiple guys that have had to hunt them 3, 4, 5 times before they've got one. I know guys that have hunted them 5 or 6 times that have yet to take one. These are aquatic buffalo. They live in that, in the streams, in the thick forest that covers them. You're hunting with true pygmies in this tall climax forest. You get on the tracks early, sometimes on the roads, you find a track, you get out with the pygmies, they get their dogs. Now, these dogs stay pretty much with you till they cut a track. And, these buffalo, they'll walk to throw you off the scent. They'll get in these little streams, and they may walk a half a mile. But the dogs will be there and eventually jump the buffalo. And when the buffalo comes to bay, that's when you're going to get your shot. And boy, there's nothing guaranteed about it, and there is sure as hell nothing easy about it. This is just one of the most physically and emotionally taxing hunts that you can go on in all of Africa, and it's certainly the hardest of all the buffalo hunts. But, you know, staying with it, and Todd has proved he stayed with it. This is his 4th hunt, I'm pretty sure. And he never even got close to getting a shot, although they'd jumped buffalo many times. But they're about to get lucky. Where I found something out about luck in Africa. The guys that stay with it, funny, they tend to be viewed as lucky hunters. They just stay with it. And that's exactly what Todd's done, and he's about to get the payoff for all those years.
Shoot. Oh. Okay, come.
Now, a complication that you got to be aware of when you're hunting these or you're hunting bongos in that deep forest is you want to make damn sure you don't shoot a dog.
Come. Okay, Akim. Thank you. Shoot him. Watch the dog. Leave. Shoot. There you are.
Boy, that is a moment you earn. I don't care how much money you have. You can be the richest guy in the world, and your money is not going to put you in front of a dwarf forest buffalo. Only your sweat and blood, tears, and tenacity are going to make this hunt happen. And I remember getting a call from Todd, said, man, I finally got him. And man, nobody besides Todd, nobody could have been more proud for him than myself.
Everything worked out fine, and it's a beautiful bull, and just an amazing hunt. This whole day was amazing.
It was beautiful. Thank you so much,
Such
my
a
friend.
pleasure,
I loved every minute of it.
Pleasure.
Thanks, buddy.
Now, we're going to stay in Zimbabwe on this next hunt. We're going to go a little bit upstream, and we're with Charlton McCallum Safari's professional hunter Keith Wall and his client Michael Mueller. Now, this is going to be one of the most unconventional buffalo hunts you're ever going to see. Several times in a nearby village, they had reported that they had a buffalo that was what's called a scrum cap buffalo, that he's got the hard boss, but his horns are broken off, so he's very easily identifiable. But he was wounded. He'd been causing a lot of problems for the people in the village. He was very aggressive. They said he's got a couple of big holes in him that were no doubt caused in fighting with another buffalo. And they had already, Charlton McCallum had already got a green light from the game department. If any of their professional hunters spotted this bull, they could take him as a problem control animal. And so one afternoon, Keith and Michael were using the boat to go down and hunt another section of the concession, and they spot a buffalo up on this bluff right on the riverbank. And Keith throws the glasses up there and he sees this thing. He says, well, he's a scrum cap. And somebody had got a picture of this bull while he was in the village, and Keith had seen that, and he's looking hard at this bull, and he tells Michael, this is that bull. This is that problem bull that's been in the area. And actually they're very close to the village, so they talked it over, and he said, Michael, or I've got to take this bull, and Michael said, look, I think it's a hell of a trophy. So with that said, they're waiting for him to stand. He does.
Get ready. Wait. On the shoulder.
And Mike gives him one perfectly placed right on the corner of the shoulder.
Good shot. Hit him again.
Now, I know a lot of people might look at that and say, I'd never want to shoot a buffalo like that. But I can tell you, Dave Fulson would love to shoot a buffalo like that. I've looked for a scrum cap bull for over 20 years trying to shoot one and can't ever get on one. And so now they got to go into some thick stuff, but he didn't go far. That was an excellent shot. Left a heavy blood trail. And they come upon him right there, and
congratulations, my friend. Thank you. That's a beautiful, beautiful bull.
This is a beautiful guy, and sure enough, one smell, this bull had a big gore horn, where a horn had gored him. He's got a big hole in his side, and a nice story to go along with a nice buffalo.
Mike, congratulations
Thank you.
on a phenomenal buffalo.
Thank you, sir.
Well done, you.
Thank you.
You know, sometimes you just have an Africa itch that you want to scratch. Well, let me tell you exactly how you can do it. The Safari Classics TV app is up and it is running, and it is getting populated with new material literally every day. It is Africa A to Z. You get to watch episodes, all of them we've ever filmed. Right now there's about 300. We'll end up with about 600 episodes of Hornady's Dark and Dangerous and tracks across Africa. You'll be able to see exclusive scenes that you've never seen before and you can't see anywhere else. You can join me weekly for the stories behind the hunts, and we'll meet a lot of interesting people. Some of the top professionals, hunters in Africa are going to be mainstays on the show. You'll get all the knowledge that you need on guns, gear, tactics, travel, ballistics, you name it, you're going to find it on the Safari Classics TV app. And you can follow your own tracks to adventure by going to safariclassicstv.com. And there you can register for the Safari Classics TV app. I'll promise you, whether you're looking at it on your phone, your iPad, or your smart TV, you can literally take a safari adventure every day of the year. And we hope that you do. We want you to be a part of exactly what we're doing. We're all enjoying the same thing. We love safari, we love Africa, and the adventure that only the Dark Continent gives. Until then, we'll see you next week right here on Safari Classics TV.